How's it going, dude? So today we're gonna do a little fun video with 10 of the Zetas, maybe some more. I have 10 though. I have planned here. 10 Zetas that, you know, on a lot of these commonly used characters, which ones you just really don't need at all. They're not necessary. They're really not going to do anything for you for the most part. And these are going to be on the commonly most used characters, I would like to say, in the game. So we're going to start this list off with one of my favorite characters in the game, Chewbacca. So Chewbacca down here. You do not need, if you guys did not know, you do not need this Zeta on the Raging Wookiee. All this provides to you is him being able to be immune to ability block and cooldown increase. So for how I'm gonna try to give examples throughout all these and how I use them personally. So with Chewbacca, the last 3 months I've been using him to counter General Skywalker in the 501st. You do not need this Zeta versus those guys. Yeah, you might think you might need it because he can for General Skywalker he can crit you, and he can inflict the cooldown increases, but you don't really need that for Chewbacca because of his specials. He can really just reset cooldowns really fast, and if you're rocking Threepio in there and you get 3 seconds of translation and you use a basic, well, you just reduce your cooldown again. So this is really, in my opinion, and how I use him, I don't really think he's a great investment of a Zeta. And I'm sure most of you guys out there can probably agree, and you guys can also say the same things. This is just not a recommended Zeta, I would say, for the most part. But this one, Low Friend, is for sure a must-have. You need that extra recovery for HP and protection. It's just a must. So Chewbacca's Raging Wookiee, I do not think you need it. You know, some of these are going to be, you know, they're pretty decent, but you don't need them for the uses in this game. So that was one of them. The next one, I have like around 10 or so here. The next one I'm going to go after here is for Hermit Yoda. So Hermit Yoda's down here. This guy, you do not need this Zeta on him at all. So this is the one called Do or Do Not. And this, all it does is whenever an ally with Master's Training is defeated, it resets his cooldowns. He does get, with this, you can see he already gets 100% turn meter at just like the level 7. But with the Zeta, you reduce your cooldowns. But you don't need that when, you know, it's just not necessary. You're going to probably get another Master's Training out for somebody, but in most scenarios, this is going to be unused. For example, I use JKR sometimes versus Grievous. Most of the time, I don't even lose anybody, so that's a wasted Zeta. Outside of that, maybe mirrored matches, maybe, but even then, that's probably a no-go. I just can't see how this is a must-have Zeta, but on the other Zeta he has 2 Zetas. This one, though, this is a really good Zeta because you have a -1 of the cooldown from 5 to 4. You can give out a lot more protection, and the Jedi allies give out foresight to the Jedi allies. So that's a great one. I don't know why you even put this one on him. Don't take advice from people that think they know it all. They might not know it all. This one, I thought it was a good one at the time of me putting it on, but in retrospect, this is a bad Zeta. So learn from your mistakes, guys, just like me. So hopefully this can help you. Next one here is Threepio. So Threepio's second Zeta I do not like. I think this is one of the worst Zetas in the game. All it does is give out Threepio and R2 a translation stack. Only 1 translation stack. So this might be different if it was like 2. 3 would be pushing because that'd be kind of insane having 3 off the bat. But 2 would be pretty good. But just 1, yeah, I'm okay. I'll pass on this one. You might think, well, it'd be nice, you know, because if he's pretty fast, he's a fast character. You can do the assist, get out translation to another person, and then everybody with translation gets called to assist. But it's not going to be that great for most uses. And that's what this list is. Like, for most of the uses, it's not going to be usable. And not really needed at all. So that's one of them. And it bothers me when I see people who have this Zeta. I just don't get it. It makes no sense for you to use this. You don't get much use out of it. It's just like the other ones we're going to mention. So that's one of them. Threepio. Don't put it on him. The other one, though, oh my goodness, this is an extremely great Zeta because you not only inflict 1, but you inflict 2 confuses. That is awesome because what that means is you can actually immediately just stop them from countering, assisting, and getting more bonus turn meter. That is extremely awesome. So that's a great Zeta. The other one, though, on the other hand, is not good at all. So the next one here we have is for Karth. So you guys might not like this one, I'm going to say here, but I'm going to say that Karth lead is one of the most unnecessary Zetas in the game because this whole team, you outgrow it so fast. It might be good for, you know, you earlier mid-game players, but once you hit end game, like let's say you have 4 million, 5 million GP around there, this is going to be so bad. you're pretty much investing an entire team that does literally nothing for you on GAC defenses. And I get that you can think of it like how we have these Galactic Legends with Rey and Kylo, and how some of those guys might go unused, but this one in particular really irks me because there are so many people and teams that can just solo this whole team by itself. Now with the Galactic Legend for Kylo, and the OG Kylo needed to be a requirement, you can have that Kylo just solo the entire Karth team. You can have Malik do the same thing, and it's just not a good value. You're gonna get just losing banners left and right. So for that main reason, I'm gonna say no to this one. Yeah, it's an okay Zeta with how it uses inside of the team itself, but outside of that use in the broad spectrum of GAC, it is so bad. You're going to outgrow this in a matter of months, I would say, because you have way better leads out there. My favorite one right now at the moment is a Newt team. The Newt Zeton, the Unique, is a great one. I use that instead of Karth. That's probably the best way I would go about that if you were to kind of decide for yourself. So I do not like Karth lead. Ever since I've had to grow that team, I have hated it over and over again. I do not like the entire team. I don't like Karth lead, but I do like Mission and Zalbar. But that's that. Okay, the next one here we have is called Sith Apprentice for BSF, otherwise known as Bastila Fallen, the one female in this game that actually looks pretty decent. So the Zeta here is on Sith Apprentice. What you get here is more potency for Bastila and the character in the leadership. It's not, excluded to just Sith. It's for everybody. And also you get foresight for one turn at the start of the battle. So this could be good in some cases. One case I'll briefly touch up on here is I love this Zeta. I actually like this Zeta a lot. That's why I have it. I use this in the Emperor Palpatine versus Grievous matches and lineups. The more potency I have, the easier it is to land stuns, fears, shocks, all those debuffs easier on the Grievous, so I can control them better and get them down easier. So I love that Zeta for that reason. The one thing I don't like though is the foresight. The foresight here kind of screws that whole thing up, but the potency is really good for the most part. Outside of that one counter for the Emperor Palpatine versus Grievous, you're going to get really no use out of this. In Darth Revan's, not much use out of it. This is just like one that people just love to toss on to clear the entire, team that you just built. You want to make sure you have all the Zetas. Well, you don't need this one. This one is so not necessary. Like I said, some of these can have some good uses every so often, but for this one, you're not going to use it a whole lot. So Sith Apprentice on Bastila, not going to be used a whole lot. So next one here. This one, you guys might have some arguments down below, but this one is on Geo Brood Alpha, so this is not on his unique, but this is on his leadership. So the leadership here, what it gives out is that basic abilities of Geo allies deal 10% more damage for each buffed enemy. So that can go up to like 5, I think, or I guess in the TB it can go even higher. But let's just say it's like around 50% more damage. So that can be pretty good. But you don't need the damage. Just looking at the Geo faction as a whole, you have like what, Geo Spy and Geo Soldier for like the main damage dealers. Sometimes the Brute can do some big damage, but Geo Spy, he's a big damage dealer. You don't need him to be having with the Zeta on the team. You don't need that Zeta at all because he gets stacking offense no matter what with his unique and how he kind of plays and doing more damage per the buffed on the enemies. And I think on himself, I forget. He just pretty much does more damage, and that Zeta is not needed, and especially not needed in the Watt mission, and it's not needed in the Acolyte either. Both of those, you do not need that Zeta. I did it to, be more prepared and be a little bit more safe for the most part, but at the end of the day, you don't need this. You really don't. The Acolyte, even in the Acolyte, just thinking about the Acolyte, you don't really see too many people with buffs on them, so you're not getting as much offense. Anyways, so, and even on GAC for like putting on defense, Trey Asylum's a big counter to those, and those guys have like no buffs at all. So that's another wasted way right there. So just don't put it on him if you don't want to. If you want to, feel free. I mean, this is way better. You pretty much with this Zeta, you get a pre-taunt. You know how huge that is? Pre-taunt, Brute, it's awesome. So that's him. Don't need the Zeta there on the leadership. The next one though, a few more, is on one of my other characters I love a lot right now, called Commander Luke Skywalker, on Learn Control. So this guy has actually 3 Zetas, I'm pretty sure, on his lead, his 2 uniques. Yeah, 3 Zetas. Okay, so this is on Learn Control. This is a unique, so what this means is whenever he does not have call to action, he has instead 50% critical avoidance and 100% tenacity. I don't think you're ever going to want the Zeta. I don't see any use for it. Just looking at it, I mean, you're already going to have all these crazy things as is. While he doesn't have it, I mean, you get a little bit more bonuses, but those bonuses before the Zeta, you have more counter chance, more defense, and you gain 10% turn whenever a rebel ally takes damage. That's totally fine. You don't need this because usually, with how you're going to use him anyways, you're going to usually, pull up your call to action, you're going to get the extra buffs to your in call to action, and then this whole Zeta is just gone. It means nothing anymore because you're not in it anymore. So, I don't know about that one. His leadership is great for the TM gain, and also, this is a great Zeta. This is top 10 Zeta in the game for right now. Love that Zeta. But the other unique, learn control, not needed whatsoever. It actually goes pretty wasted if you guys do ever plan on getting it. You're going to get no use out of it, so... The next one here, though, is on a similar character, another journey character is Rey. Rey Jedi training. The leadership is a must. You get a lot more, or you make them lose, you can reduce your cooldowns, that's great. Even the other insights one, pretty good for more damage, critical damage, offense, that's great. And more foresight, too. But this one here, all it does is whenever you do suffer a debuff, you have a 40% chance to dispel all debuffs on yourself. That percentage is really bogus. 40% is not good at all, I don't think I've ever had a time where I lost any matches because I did not have the Zeta. Nothing that I can remember, at least. Maybe, with all these, Galactic Legends and this new Rey and Kylo, maybe this could be better right now, but for the most part, this is going to be unused, so please, please, please do not Zeta this unique. It is so bad. 40% chance, holy cow, that's really bad. So, the next one, we have a couple more here. This is a big one you guys might not think and you might not agree on. This is on Jedi Revan Direct Focus. So, the reason this is on this list is for uses outside of the mirror match. So, yeah, if you're in like a newer shard, you're probably going to have to fight a lot more of these early on. And for that reason, I would probably say go for it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys out there already have anyways, but... If you are, some of those people out there who haven't Zetaed him just yet, the Zeta behind and why this isn't as useful anymore is because outside of the mirror match, and where people typically use him in the Revan and the Jedi team in general, is versus Grievous's. So, versus Grievous's with Droid Battalion and double stacks, they get more critical avoidance for 1 and more tenacity for 2. So, it's going to be hard to land that stun. The stun is on this unit, or on the Zeta rather, and you're most likely not going to land it. And usually, I can't remember a time where I really have, and it's been like if I didn't land it, it killed my run, I'd lost. And also, when it just gets down to Grievous and you want to kill Grievous when there's like a few people left, you can't stun him either because with how Grievous works, he has to be above 100% health for those debuffs to stick. When he goes below that threshold of 100%. You can't stun him, you can't really do any debuffs to him. So this is going to be unused, and also the buff immunity is not going to do a whole lot either in that counter because they don't get a whole lot of stuff for buffs. So this is what it is without a Zeta. Yeah, you're going to mark somebody for 2 turns, you get some more assists going. All you're getting with a Zeta is the buff immunity, and you increase their cooldowns, that's cool and all, but really it's not going to do much to you. And stun, that's it. So there might be some arguments where you're going to need a lot. I would say in the mirror matches, that's a must. But outside of it, you can probably go without it if you wanted to. But like I said earlier, if you're an old-time player, you're probably going to need it, or you're probably already going to have it rather anyways, because you've been playing for such a long time, right? So that's him. The last one, though, before I hop off today, is going to be one that you guys might not agree with. And I wanted to say this one for last because I thought it would be an interesting one for you guys. So this is on my boy Potato Head. So Potato Head here, aka General Skywalker, you do not need this basic Zeta. You do not. And let me talk about why you don't, because let's say you just barely unlocked him, he's 5-star, gear 11, whatever, and you're trying to counter other, let's say Darth Revans. You don't need that because all you're doing here, all you're giving yourself with a Zeta, let's just read it a little bit, you can use another ability called Telekinesis. So what does this mean? Yeah, it's a great ability, but what does it mean? Well, you're going to get another attack in here, and it's going to critically hit people with Armor Shred. If the target enemy is dazed, he reduces the cooldowns of of his abilities by 1, and it ignores defense. That's cool and all, but if you don't Zeta it, well, instead you're going to be using 2 Furious Slashes, not slashers. And what this means is that you can ignore defense and it cannot be evaded. So you're pretty much getting 2 guaranteed hits on somebody which cannot be evaded, which is great for Darth Revan and encountering Darth Revans early on if you have a 5-star gas. And also, if you didn't know, you can actually, instead of just getting 1 assist from Echo, you can get 2 assists with Echo. And Echo does some pretty dang good damage, so you would probably want him to be in there to do that damage for you. You get 2 more hits. This pretty much would mean that you can actually easily get Bastila Fallen out of there pretty early on in the battle. And also, if this is the first ability he used during his turn, he uses Furious Slash as a second ability. So like I just said there, he can actually use this twice, which is pretty good. So yeah, you're gonna be able to not have this attack be evaded by 2 times because you're gonna hit twice for the basic. You can call Echo twice. Pretty much this means you're gonna be able to kill Bastila Fallen a lot quicker. So outside of the whole Darth Revan mirror match, or not mirror match, the Darth Revan counter rather, let's say you're gonna be 5-star versus a Relic 7 gas. Well, maybe this might be a bit more useful to get the Zeta, but for the other uses, you don't really need it. Outside of the gas mirror match, and perhaps some other ones out there that I might not know of, you don't need it. I would say the only reason you would want this is for the gas mirror match, or if you want to kind of take out these New Galactic Legends. But if you have a 5-star and you're trying to just kind of not, invest too heavily into a gas team like this, and you're kind of low on Zetas, I guess, you don't need this basic at all. So that's that. One more honorable mention here, guys. Please, please, please do not be like me and don't Zeta your leadership on Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster's Guidance, please don't Zeta this. This is such a bad investment. I can go on and on and on about Zetas I wish I did not have, maybe for another video, but just don't do that, Zeta. That would be the best thing you guys can do in this whole game. Don't do it. Don't be like me, guys. I think that's about it, though. There was 10 Zetas that I don't feel like you need at all. For the vast majority of the uses with them in the game and how they're used, you don't need them. You don't need those Zetas, so that's 10. Up and down, from journey guys to just average characters. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it around, and if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to sub. I try to do a lot of different videos on this game, so it'd be awesome if you guys could sub. Be muchly appreciated. And if you guys do want to check out the Discord, it's down below in the link, down below in the description link. And also we have a Patreon as well down below as well. If you guys wanted to, feel free to check those out. But that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.